In this video, let us see how to make 3 types of restaurant style naans like a pro in just 4 simple steps. And stay tuned through the entire video because I have shared so many useful tips and tricks right till the very end of the video. So please do keep watching if you are interested. The first step is to, of course, activate the yeast, but since I use instant yeast, there is no need for me to do this step, but many of you guys asked me for the same in my previous bread videos, so I am including it as a part of this recipe. So take some warm water and add a tablespoon of sugar and some yeast to it. Give it a gentle stir. Let it sit on the countertop, or the best would be in a warm place like your microwave for 15 minutes until the yeast blooms up. Meanwhile, take 3 cups of all-purpose flour, that is maida or plain flour. I am taking it directly on my countertop and will be kneading it here itself. You can use a bowl if you want to. Next, we are gonna also use milk powder in this recipe, but this is completely optional as we will be kneading the dough with milk. However, if you choose to knead the dough with water instead of milk, then definitely use milk powder in the recipe. Along with this, we will also add a teaspoon of salt. Give everything a quick mix and make a well in the center. Time to add in the wet ingredients. So next in goes the yogurt. Along with that, you will also need to add the bloomed up yeast. So since mine was instant, you can already see that it started bubbling up. If yours is an active dry kind of variety, wait for 15 minutes in at least, and then add it to your dough. Along with that, to knead the dough, we will also need milk. Here I have taken 1 cup of milk at the moment, which I won't be adding all at once. So give the dough a mix so that the yeast mixture and the yogurt is dispersed, and then slowly adding little by little at a time, incorporate the milk and bring everything into a dough. So it's gonna be a sticky mess at the moment, just like the way you can see it here, but do not be tempted to add any extra flour to our naan bread dough here. Just keep on kneading, add the milk, bring everything together, and you will note that it will come together. So it's been around 4 minutes now that I'm kneading the dough, and you can see that the dough is still sticky and messy. Don't worry, just keep on kneading and you will get there. And this is how the dough looks after exactly 8 minutes of kneading. Still sticky, don't worry. One more thing, I wanted to take a moment here to let you guys know that we would need just half a cup of milk for this recipe, that is for 3 cups of flour, because we have already added some yogurt and water along with the yeast, if you guys remember. So depending upon the consistency of yogurt that you began with, you might need additional 1 to 2 tablespoons of milk. So after about 8 minutes, we have to now include fat in our dough. We include fat at a later stage because we need the gluten to develop. So a tip or point for you guys is that fat inhibits the development of gluten, which holds the structure of a bread together. So it is necessary that you give some time for the gluten to develop, and that is why we have added oil at a later stage. Once you add the oil, you will see a magic in your dough. You will see that it has started coming together quite easily and quite quickly, and also has become super soft and smooth, elastic. The difference is so much notable. Just like the milk, I'll be adding little oil at a time. We have used around 2 tablespoons here. So little oil at a time and keep on kneading for a total of around 15 to 20 minutes. If you want, you can make this recipe in a stand mixer too. For that, follow the same steps. Use half cup of milk, knead the dough for 8 minutes, lift the hook up and add the oil, and again knead for another 4 minutes. See, just like I said, once you add the oil, it's just like magic. My hands are super clean. You can see that the dough is clearly soft and smooth. So a total of 15 to 20 minutes is needed to knead this dough. Haha, needed to knead. Anyways, yeah, you get the point, right? After about 15 minutes of kneading, you can see that the dough is still sticking to the board, that is the base. However, it is not sticking to my hands at all. You can see that my hands are totally clean and the dough is not sticking to it. And that's how you know that the dough is perfectly hydrated but soft at the same time. Not sticking to my hands at all, but observe carefully that when you try to lift it from the board, you can see that there is some resistance. So that you know that your red dough is now ready for first proofing. Simply tuck the sides of the dough beneath to give it a proper round and smooth shape and place it in a bowl. But before that, make sure to oil it so that the dough doesn't stick to it, and also coat the naan bread dough with the same oil so that it doesn't dry out. Cover it with a tea towel and let it proof for 2 hours. Alternatively, you can also proof the dough in your instant pot. Simply place the dough and coat it with oil so that it doesn't dry out. Using the yogurt function, set the time for 1 hour and let it proof. And after an hour, open to this beauty. I mean, look at that. Just poke your finger in the center, and if it doesn't bounce back, you know that your dough is ready. Simply take it out onto your countertop and then divide evenly into 8 balls. So, a tip for you guys here is that if you would like to know how to store the dough for future use or how to freeze it, then you can check out my blog post on spicesandflavors.com or refer my pita bread video for the same information. So just kneading it simply to give it a shape, and then since we are making it at home, you don't have to be precise, just eyeball and divide it. But me being me, I went ahead with my weighing scale and divided it into 8 equal balls. Once you have divided the dough, simply tuck the sides beneath and give it a proper round shape so that it is easy for us to roll it later. You don't have to do much, just a simple roll is enough. Then cover it with a tea towel so that the naan bread dough doesn't dry out and let the gluten rest for 10 minutes. Meanwhile, keep few things ready like nigella seeds, which is kalonji in Hindi, some chopped coriander leaves, some plain melted butter for our butter naan, and let's also make the garlic butter for garlic naan, for which in some melted butter add in 3 cloves of grated garlic along with some chopped coriander. Mix and keep it ready. Another thing you can do is put your iron skillet on medium flame for preheating. Now I would not recommend using non-stick tawa or non-stick skillet for this particular recipe as you would not get the desired result. Coming back to our naan bread dough, take the one that you had shaped first and then roll it out into a teardrop or oval shape. Now, don't ask me why naan breads are shaped this way, it's how it is. You can also do a circular shape if you like, but this is how you get in every Indian restaurants as well as dhaba or street sides in India. So that's how I'm gonna do today. Just roll it out to an oval shape. Once rolled, sprinkle some nigella seeds, that is kalonji, on top and some coriander leaves. Press it down gently with the help of your rolling pin. You will also need a bowl of water, so keep that ready as well. And then lift the naan bread up and place it on your palms in such a way that the rolled out portion is now lying face down and the bottom portion is facing you. Wet your hands and simply dab some water onto the back of the naan bread dough. This water acts as an adhesion between the naan bread and would stick to the iron skillet. So you can see that the skillet is super hot at this stage. You can literally see the fumes coming out, and if you place your hand few inches above it, you can feel the heat as well. Now place the naan bread onto it. The water will act as a glue and will help the naan bread stick to our iron skillet base. In just a minute or so, you will observe small bubbles rising up And when you start noticing the bubbles coming up, simply using a spatula, lift it up and place it upside down. I'm so sorry that portion got deleted somehow, so I'm just showing you the method how you are supposed to do it once again. So lift it and put it upside down and cook it on both the sides. The only disadvantage with this particular method is that you would actually end up suppressing the beautiful brown bubbly texture effect that you get in restaurant style naan breads. Otherwise, the taste and texture remains totally the same. Once cooked on both the sides, simply take it out and your plain naan bread is ready. If you apply some butter on top, that's how you make a butter naan bread. If you are intending to make only butter naan breads, I will also suggest you to apply some butter before cooking it as well. To make a garlic naan bread, after pressing down the kalonji and coriander leaves, simply brush the garlic butter that you had prepared on top, lift it up and place it now this time on a cushion pillowy thing. In restaurants, this is the trick that they use to stick the naan breads to the tandoor oven. Follow the same procedure of dabbing the water on top and then slowly and gently lift your pan up a bit to stick the naan breads. Like so easily the way you can see it here in the video. Press it down gently so that it sticks to the iron skillet. Meanwhile, on the adjacent gas flame, add a little bit of charcoal and around half a teaspoon of clarified butter. Just switch off the smoke alarm for some time while you are making the naan breads. Also keep all the windows and the doors of your house open. After few seconds of cooking the naan bread on the skillet, simply lift it up and place it directly on the now hot flame. You will observe that the direct heat coming from the gas stove is enough to cook the naan, and the water acts as an addition and does not allow the naan bread to fall on top of the coil. Just bend down, observe the way it is cooking and move the skillet here and there to ensure that there is even cooking and coloration on top of your naan bread. So once you're happy with that and once it's cooked on both sides, just take it off the flame and quickly apply some melted butter for that glossy, shiny restaurant style look. And yes, of course, remember to switch off your gas top flame or else it would catch up fire, and make sure to switch on the smoke alarm as well once you have done cooking. It might seem risky to you, but don't worry, we have always been cooking directly on flame back in India, be it for making naan breads or even a regular fulka, or there are some other curries too that we cook on gas flame. So do not worry, just go ahead and make this recipe and I'm sure you will love it. That was my beautiful spread for lunch that other day, and let me show you the backside as well. See, it's not burnt at all, perfectly cooked with even coloration on all the sides. A naan bread or garlic naan is usually served with some curry, some sliced onions, pickle, green chili, and lemon veg. And that's how soft it has turned out to be. And trust me on this is way more better than what you get in Indian restaurants here. Let me share another little trick as well. Now, you know, I shoot videos, I did photography, and I also did some videography, after which the naan breads were not so hot as it came out of the stove. And of course, I'm not gonna eat it cold, right? So to reheat it, all you have to do is wet your hands and dab some water on both the sides of your naan bread. Microwave it for 10 to 15 seconds and you will have a beautifully fresh naan bread as if you just made it fresh on your gas stove or oven. So definitely enjoy your lunch or dinner with this recipe. I'm sure you won't be disappointed. Another trick I wanted to share is that once you cook 2 to 3 naans on your skillet, you will observe that there are some debris sticking to it. So simply sprinkle some water and give it a wipe using a tea towel or a tissue towel, I mean, so that when you place the next naan bread, there is no bits of dry flour sticking to the base, which would ultimately burn, and hence there are possibilities that you might get a burnt naan. I forgot to show you guys how to make the pillow cushion right at the beginning, so I'm adding it towards the end. Lay down a fresh tea towel on your countertop and place 2 to 3 tea towels inside of it. Bring the edges together and tie it into a knot to make your own cushiony pillowy thing, just like the way the restaurants do, so that you can use it to stick your naan onto the skillet. If you thought that this video was even a tiny weeny bit of informative and useful, then definitely hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more such baking and dessert related recipes. I'll see you soon in my next one. Until then, this is Sushma signing off. Take care. Bye bye.